Hello.
There you go. Looks like you
You
got it
guys
now.
got it now?
Something's
Let me
registering.
know if you can hear me now. It's showing that I have sound, but if not, if you guys can't hear me, I'll switch it over to the computer.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Donner.
All
Thank you, man. Sorry about that. Yeah.
right, take two.
All right. Take two. We are obviously not in my basement. We're here at the Grove City Brewing Company facility. There is beer behind me. This is Trevor Luther, who is the brewmaster for Grove City Brewing Company.
How are you?
See what happens when I go on the road. I'm never going to leave my basement again. I'm telling you guys. I can borrow Bobby's chalkboard. Yeah, Bobby has a huge chalkboard behind him.
All right, sweet.
Cheers, Mr. Great Shot. Oh, you've been moving for days. Oh, it sucks to move. Hey, Jen. Thank you. It's good to see you. Cheech, it is good to see you. Trying to catch up with chat and say hi to all you guys. James Morgan, good to see you, sir. I think I got everybody that snuck in here. Hi, Donner. Ben Whiskey Uncensored. It is good to see you. Ben, this is the beer that was across the street from that taco place we went to.
Oh yeah.
I took him to local cantina when he was in town.
Yeah, they're great folks.
I'm like, you're in Ohio. Nothing says Ohio like tacos.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, cheers, Kevin Campbell. It's good to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight. So we are drinking some beer, and we're pairing beer with some whiskey. So I looked up the history of Boilermakers.
Yeah.
And
nice.
there's a lot of different stories out there. The
Sure.
one that seems like it's actually believable in the US was in the 1800s, the guys working the railroads. It's like hard work, backbreaking work. They would go to the bar and a beer just wouldn't cut it because they're working hard, they're sore. So they would give them a chaser of whiskey with it.
Nice.
So this is kind of a modern variation of that. We're all drinking good whiskey. We're drinking good beer. So we're going to pair them all together. So we are starting with the Huya.
Yep. It's an American light lager. So the Huya American Light Lager, we started crafting that. We worked with the SEAL Kids, which is a nonprofit organization for the U.S. Navy SEAL families. And what they do is they raise money to help offset costs of medical expenses and help the kids. So we did a collaboration with them. And Huya is the Marine Navy SEAL war cry, not the Marine, sorry, Navy SEAL war cry. So that's where we got the name from. American Light Lager. It's got a bit of corn in it. It's got a bit of barley in it. Some carapils for body and head retention, and just a real nice American Light Lager yeast. And it's nice and clean and crisp.
This is nice for summer. It's really It's light.
Yeah,
it's not too much.
Yeah, it's a great garage beer.
This would be. Yeah, I was just thinking, like after you mow a lawn or did yard work, this would be a good one to have. Yeah. So we're pairing this. I thought the thing about pairing whiskey and beer, you either want to complement or you want to contrast. So this one, I decided to find one to complement. So we're drinking Green River Wheated Bourbon.
Which wheat typically has a sweeter flavor.
A little sweeter, a little lighter.
Yeah. Which it does.
Ooh, that goes nice together.
Yeah, pulls a lot of those grassy notes.
Yeah, a little grass. It makes it a little more grassy. I'm getting a lot sweeter notes out of the beer now.
Yeah,
it is bringing that sweetness up.
Yeah, so it's you're pulling some of the corn.
Yeah.
It almost gets more of a cream corn flavor.
Let me know what you guys are all drinking in chat. If you have any questions about Grove City Brewing Company, about beer in general, this is the man to ask.
Yeah. If I don't have the right answers, I'll tell you the wrong ones.
So, Trevor, talk about the brewery.
So we're Grove City Brewing Company. We started in 2016. I started actually as a home brewer. 13, 14 years ago, I got a Mr. Beer kit for Christmas. Fell in love with the craft. I started doing a lot more brewing. I met up with a guy that owns the Plum Run Winery, and we started collaborating and talking about opening a brewery. We brought on some financial partners, and together we opened Grove City Brewing Company in 2016. We started building it in 2015, but we essentially started in 2016. I come out of the gate with some of my home brewing recipes and slightly modified to fit the commercial setting. And I learned commercial brewing from fantastic brewery, Buckeye Lake Brewing Company, another local brewery. I worked with them for quite a while. Rich Hennessy at Buckeye Lake was awesome. I learned a lot from the brewer there and some of the different aspects between commercial brewing and home brewing, which there's a lot of similarities, but they are two different beasts. Quite a bit different processes between the two. You're essentially creating a product that's consumable, so you have to have a lot of safety aspects, and your cleaning processes are different and stuff like that. So, but yeah, we started in 2016, and right in the heart of Grove City. We couldn't ask for a better location. We couldn't ask for a better community. Our community is great. They love us. They support us. We try and return the favor. We do a lot of our purchasing from local malt processing places like Rustic Brew Farm. They're out in Marysville. They grow the malt out there. They process the malt, bag it, bring it to us. We also buy from local hop growers. So we like to support our local, and I don't mind paying a little bit more to help support those local farmers rather than the big box guys. So in a nutshell, that's kind of what Grove City Brewing Company is about, is community and helping out our local neighbors and stuff.
Well, and you're at a big corner in downtown Grove City, and you're popular.
Yeah.
So it has gone from just having a brewery in this restaurant to now you're having to can your own stuff because there's only so much you could do with your growlers and the crowlers. Everybody wants the beer.
Yeah,
it's very good.
We've grown. So we're currently sitting in our production facility, which we just opened up this year. We bought a 10,000 square foot building. We're using roughly half of it right now. The beer and wine processing is done here, and now that leaves us room to grow over at our tap room. So we're going to be able to expand our tap room to accommodate more seating and grow our kitchen out to accommodate more restaurant food. So we're a brewery, a winery, and a restaurant, the trifecta. So beer, food, and wine, some of the best.
And I think I told you as soon as we walked in here, like, you're going to need a bigger building.
Yeah, eventually.
Already. I think
we're starting to do some distributing around Central Ohio. So.
The Green River in Ohio retails, I think it was $39. It was $40 with tax. So yeah, it's the newest. Bardstown Bourbon Company is making this now. They have a bourbon and then they have the wheated bourbon, and they're both right about $40. It's a really good whiskey, really great buy. It should be available pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. I like that one.
We got you got people drinking some Guinness Extra Stout. Eric's having some Guinness Extra Stout. Eric, you'll like one of our beers coming up then.
Yeah.
Say hi to everybody that popped in here. I see Robbie is joining us from Dublin, Ireland. Sláinte, Robbie. Thank you for joining us as always. And we have, where'd it go? There she is, one of my favorite Clevelanders, Christine Vasco. Cheers, Christine.
So it's funny though, he's drinking Guinness. That we're starting to, since we've moved into this building, we've actually added RO water, which is reverse osmosis. So we completely scrub our water, practically clean. The cleanest water you can get is distilled. But now that we're doing RO water and we remove most of the compounds and salts, we can build our water profile. So one of the things I'm working on currently is doing nitrogenizing our beer. So adding nitro so that we can serve it on nitro taps. And I can pull the water source of Dublin, Ireland. And because most water sources are public record, I can pull the water chemistry of Dublin, Ireland and replicate that if I want to do a proper dry Irish stout.
That's so freaking cool.
Yeah. So
Ohio stout made with basically Dungourney River water cork.
Yeah. I don't know if all the little critters will be in it, but
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I saw Zenbud jump in here. Cheers, Zenbud. Thank you for joining us tonight. Robbie says Eric says he's been enjoying both the rye and wheat recipes of Green River.
Nice.
Christine is going to pour a Watershed bourbon.
Beautiful. Watershed's a great Ohio distillery too.
I like them. I got their the uncut, unfiltered when they released
that.
That was really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah. If I'm not drinking beer, I'm drinking whiskey. I'm a huge whiskey fan.
Robbie's having some 2 stacks.
Nice.
I love 2 stacks. They are gearing up for their Polaris 1.3 release. Their next red ice wine finished whiskey. Our local microbrews specifically don't change it because it's a high mineral content they want.
Yep. Yeah, it's so you want minerals. There's a lot of things for yeast health. So when you have what we do is the reason why we scrub our water is it's city water. So we want to take out the chloride, the fluoride, some of the stuff they put in the water to treat it. Each beer style actually calls for different salt profiles. So some salt profiles will put emphasis on hops, and some salt profiles will put emphasis on malts. So you have like calcium chloride, gypsum, Epsom salts, baking soda. There's all kinds of different salts you can put in that will help create the style of beer you're going for. So you don't want the same salt profile for an IPA that you would a stout, something that's really malt forward. So it gives us the liberty of really putting quality control into our beers. So we can really hone in our recipes and make the things shine in those beers that we want to shine, right? So our one of the beers that we're going to be getting to at some point is a blonde stout, and that's super sweet, and it has a lot of great characteristics of malt. So that's quite a bit different than this crispy lager.
And that's really interesting. It's something you don't think about when you're home brewing.
Yeah,
the actual salt content in the water that you're using.
Well, so as a home brewer, I bought spring water from the local grocery store because it was better to do. Some city water is good, with the exception of the chemicals that they put in it to help combat microbes.
City of Columbus, you don't want the water.
Budweiser actually has a huge interest in the Clintonville area, that water source. So they've invested a lot of money into making sure that water's
I'm good. Right before the water treatment plant, so my water tastes like soap or tastes like chlorine, depending on when they've treated it. Sugar Goody says, salt for specific beer types. I love it already. #nerdy brewing.
Yeah, awesome.
Cheers, Mark Vasco. I saw you sneak in here, buddy. It's good to see you. Cheers, David Bass. And Dustin. How are you doing, Dustin? Dustin's down in Cincy. He's nice. one of our Ohio friends.
Beautiful.
This is really, really nice.
Yeah.
So this is a really good
one. Nice and clean. It's got a great color to it. It's nice.
So one of the things I think I've probably talked about, not on my stream, but on other streams, is a lot of people I don't know if they realize you can do it, or you've brewed beer with donuts.
I have, yes. Yeah.
Multiple times now, actually.
Yeah, we actually have a series. So in the mash tun, which is right behind Stacy, is our mash tun. I should back up just a little bit. We're a 3-barrel brew house, so we're kind of small. We do a 92 to 100 gallon batches. So we're able to do a lot of creative stuff. Our slogan is artfully crafted beer. So I do try to work with local businesses, and one of those local businesses is Jolly Pirate Donuts. They donate donuts to me, and I usually use about 6 dozen donuts per 100-gallon batch. And I make an apple fritter ale. I make a red velvet cake donut beer. I make a Buckeye donut beer, which is peanut butter chocolate. That's actually goes into a stout. And I do
You did that lemon one.
Yeah, I do
that was good.
Lemon, like a lemon meringue wheat.
Like a lemon curd kind of.
Yeah,
that was nice.
So what I do is I typically throw them right in the top of the mash. So once my grains are in the mash tun, I go ahead and throw the donuts in on top, and I let them sit in there while the malt is doing its thing during the mash. Once the mash is complete, the donuts stay right on top, and I do what they call a sparge. Sparge looks like a shower. Showers down over the donuts and the grains and rinses away all those beautiful sugars. And that goes into the brew kettle, which is right there. And then we boil it, caramelize those sugars, and it turns out beautiful.
And you come here on release day. Come to the tap room on release day, and you get little mini donuts with the beer on release day.
Yeah.
So Dustin has a question. Dustin says, what's the distribution? His guy Mike is in Grove City. Odds are he knows Mike. Where can I get their beer?
So we've just started doing our canning, and we just started our distribution. The biggest part of our distribution right now is in kegs, and I would say you're not going to find us much more out of 50-mile radius of Grove City. So you'll find some of our cans only at our tap room right now, and then you'll find our beer on tap at local pubs around Columbus. If you are within 50 miles and you want to see our beer, go to your local pub and ask for it. I want a donut shower. Me too.
Cheers, Kilco. Red Velvet beer, take my money.
Yeah. Oh, the Red Velvet one. Probably
10
the best.
donuts for the mash. 2 donuts for me. 10 donuts for you.
Oh, I could promise that I at least sample 1 or 2 donuts while I'm making it.
I can't help but stare into Big Marvin's big eyes. Yeah, I could see him in the background there.
Yeah, Marvin. So it's funny. So all of our tanks have names, and each tank has, with the exception of Marvin, each tank has a name of a music genre. So the day we're brewing into that tank, that's usually what we try to listen to on Pandora, is that type of music. You can see rap over this tank.
It's rap, hip hop, country, punk, heavy metal,
punk rock, heavy metal, classic rock. But Marvin was the first one to get his name, and he actually at the tap room, he was facing out the windows so the people in the tap room could see it.
Yeah.
So I threw some eyeballs on him, and then we gave him a name, and everybody enjoyed Marvin.
Next time I'm in a bar in Grove City, ask for your beer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you could also, if you visit the tap room, they have growlers and the crowler cans, so you could take some home.
Yep.
As well.
We ready for the next one?
I'm ready for the next one. I'm gonna rinse out here.
So the next one's kind of fun. Something new that's happening. We try to stick with trends. We try to follow some trends. Not all trends are good. Not all trends are bad. But typically,
like half for me.
Yep. So the current trend right now is, and I know they're seeing it in the cocktail industry with the whiskeys, is like mocktails or non-alcoholic option. A lot of your younger folks that are coming in are, which I'm pouring these off a draft system, so I got kegs sitting behind me. So this is an NA option that we just started. It's not even in our tap room yet. I busted it out at one of the events at the Shamrock Club. This is NA hop water. Hop water has been trending for quite a while, and it actually started long before it was cool. I want to say it was around 2015, 2017, somewhere in that area. Somebody started doing some hop water. But hop water is essentially just that, hops and water. Because we are on an RO system now, I can scrub our water down and I can start making really nice drinkable water. And when you add hops into that with some citric acid or lactic acid, you can get essentially what's kind of like a hoppy seltzer. And I know a lot of you are going to say, oh, what the hell is a the point in drinking something that's NA. We get a lot of people asking for them. And, you know, if you have a group of people that come in and their friend wants to hang out that is not an alcohol drinker, it's good to have an option for them. And this tastes, this is a pineapple IPA hop water.
This is, I mean, you can have a DD. I mean, it's a
Sure.
way for them to actually still be able to engage and have a good time.
Yeah, and still be part of the crowd without actually getting wrecked. And
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so this has our hop water has pineapple. It has Simcoe hops, Citra hops, and Zappa hops. So I went for a fruit forward IPA flavor with roughly about 40. It's right around 38, 40 IBUs, which isn't super bitter, but it's still it tastes like an IPA.
I like this. I don't like IPA. I'm gonna be straight, and I think you knew that about me. I gravitate towards malt, but I like this. So the last whiskey we had was one that complemented and had very similar notes. This one, I thought IPA has got a very distinct, very strong, unique flavor all its own.
Absolutely.
We need a whiskey that can stand on its own too. So we are going with Michter's Rye.
Yep. And I'll be honest, I'm usually not a huge rye guy. Rye has a real spicy note. I don't brew with it a lot. You usually have a very niche group of folks that love rye. But this is pretty tasty.
I like rye. I do like my rye.
Yeah, this one's pretty tasty, and it pairs very well with this.
This does. I brought a couple ryes because we weren't sure which direction. I have not had this before. Weren't sure what we were gonna do with this one, but this pairs really, really, really good.
The bouquet on this, the aroma on this one is just delightful.
Hey, cheers, Isaiah. It's good to see you, man.
No, that's you can smell like the caramel color, the caramel notes. This is a very nice pairing. This one is.
Cheers, Doug H. Thank you for joining us tonight. Cheers, Baker Drinks. It's good to see you. I am with Christine, so I'm finding out I like rye. I like rye a whole lot. So to me, it was a no-brainer when you said IPA.
Yeah.
I said we're going rye. It was just determining which rye that we had to go with.
Yeah.
So rye is pretty popular. You have a few ryes.
Yeah.
That you do.
Yeah.
Or not ryes. I'm sorry, IPAs.
IPAs
are a popular.
Yeah.
In beer right now.
Yeah, popular.
Much to my
IPA is
disdain.
probably your IPAs are probably your top selling beers. But if you look at the blanket of IPAs, it's incredible. There's hazy IPAs, there's juicy IPAs, there's milk IPAs,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, there's
and I hate
East
them.
Coast,
I
West
really don't
Coast.
like them all.
Yeah.
This I could drink this all day long.
Yeah.
This is nice. Really nice.
So one of the things I strive for is balance. And when you're brewing something and trying to balance it, IPAs aren't the easiest thing to try and balance. And what I'm referring to in balance is malt and hops. So you want it to be nice and balanced where one doesn't supersede the other. So unless the style calls for it, if you're drinking a Oktoberfest or a nut brown, obviously you want that malt to shine and you don't want to taste those hops. If you're drinking an IPA, you want those hops to shine and the malt to be background noise. But you need them both. And when you have an IPA that the brewer undercuts the malt characteristics, it's going to be super astringent, super bitter, and taste really green. You need that malt backbone to give it that sweetness to make the hops shine even better sometimes. So I'm not a huge IPA guy. I have to brew them because customers like them.
They're popular. They are popular.
I'm not the one that consumes all the beer, although sometimes I try. I got to do what the customer enjoys.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I'm not an IPA fan. I know they're hugely popular. You have several of them.
Yeah.
This is really good. It does have a lot of fruitiness, and the whiskey you're right, it's bringing out those caramel notes a little bit.
Yep. I'm surprised. I'm curious to see if they're ever going to come out with, and maybe they have, and I just don't know. Non-alcoholic whiskey option, like
I think they're actually. I don't know if there is.
so
I thought that
something
maybe there was.
an NA. I don't even know what the hell it would be, like whiskey flavored water, or isn't that at on the bottom shelf at the whiskey store?
If you throw water in a barrel, it's going to come out with something.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but that would be cool. They with all the mocktails that are growing in popularity, having a straight whiskey that has no alcohol in it. But yeah, no, this is delicious. This is a great pairing.
Yeah, the Michter's rye has some rye, but it's not overwhelmingly rye. It's got enough of the caramel notes. I think it's picking up the caramel notes and the IPA as well.
Oh, there are a couple NA whiskey options. Oh, they're not that good.
They're not that good.
Yeah.
There are several brands available.
Sweet.
And Kevin says that's Basil Hayden. I've learned enough from you people not to buy Basil Hayden. Everything I know about bourbon is literally from all these people.
Yeah.
So you aren't just. It's like you cannot have free time.
No.
Because it's not enough that you're doing all this beer. You also do maple syrup.
Yep. Yeah. I got some great folks up home that I'm originally from upstate New York in the Adirondack Mountain region. It all started about 2 years ago. I wanted to do a maple bourbon barrel aged coffee stout. Well, I wanted to incorporate my hometown in Harrisville, New York. So I went up there with two Noble Cut whiskey barrels. Noble Cut's a local distillery. They make fantastic stuff. I went up there with the two whiskey barrels. We filled them at local Sugar Shack right across the road from my sister's house in my hometown. Super great folks up there. He's been Hugen Sugar Shack has been a huge supporter of us and done great, wonderful things. But we dropped the whiskey barrels off. We filled them up, and it was actually pretty fun. He was learning and I was learning at the same time with making this bourbon barrel aged maple syrup. There was turkey pans and all kinds of shit going on. It was an adventure. But yeah, so I do maple syrup. I actually have some regular maple syrup I brought back from New York. I sell that, but the crown jewel is the bourbon barrel aged maple syrup that I do, and I did a nice play on Maker's Mark, wax the top. The bourbon barrel aged maple syrup, actually, I bottled it and I brought it back to my hometown, or where I live now in Grove City, and I sold all of it in 5 weeks. It blew my mind how much they loved it.
It was really good.
And then I took the barrels and I put a coffee stout in them, and that was a year ago. So the end of August, I'll bottle that beer, and that'll be up for sale in 16-ounce bottles. And I can't tell you.
And I'll get one of those, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, we can pair it with something.
Ooh.
Yeah. It'd be cool is finding somebody to take the barrels and fill them with whiskey again, so that it's a bourbon barrel aged maple coffee stout whiskey.
I bet you I could find somebody to take the barrel. As for pairing, I'm thinking like a 2 stacks maple syrup cask.
There you go. Hell yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, but pure New York State maple syrup, amber grade. It's delicious.
It's really good. Yeah. I used it for bacon ends.
Yeah,
put them on the smoker and coated them, and the barbecue sauce. Holy crap, it was so good.
Crazy. People don't realize how far you can go with maple syrup. They think that I get so many people that are like, "Oh, I don't eat pancakes." Well, you don't just put it on pancakes. Yeah. You put it on ice cream. You can put it in your coffee. You can make meat glazes.
I throw it in chili.
Oh yeah, throw it in your chili. Yeah. All kinds of stuff. It's very versatile. And when you're baking, it's 1 cup of maple syrup will replace 1 cup of sugar.
I did not know that.
Yep.
I'm going to have to use that next time I make Irish cream cookies.
Oh, nice.
So I make them every Christmas. So I'm going to have to swap that out and use that instead. Although I'm definitely going to be getting more of the bourbon. barrel aged because we
I'll
went
have
through
some. And if you do cocktails, you don't have to buy mine and use it, but I'd appreciate it if you did. But if you use cocktails or drink cocktails that have any simple syrup in them, if you replace that with maple syrup for the same exact amount.
Between Watertown and Potsdam,
Yeah.
that's serious New York State. I'm from more like central New York, leather stocking, but love Adirondacks.
Yeah. So if you know where Watertown is in Fort Drum area, my father's property borders Fort Drum. So right there, if you sneeze on your way through my hometown, you'll miss it.
Cheers, Bourbon School. I'm all in on zero sugar maple syrup.
Oh, yeah.
I'd run to avoid a say.
Seeing as how real maple syrup is 100% sugar.
Yeah. But it's a good sugar. It's more a raw sugar. It's not refined.
It's like honey. It's exactly like honey,
yeah.
except it comes from a tree, not a bee's ass.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. I absolutely love the maple syrup. There's a lot. Yeah, I use the crap out of that for everything. I think. But I never thought to use it in baking.
Yeah,
never thought about that.
So I post. I don't think I brought a card with me, but you can find me on Facebook. It's Silver Dawn Maple Products is my company.
And there's a link if they go on the brewery.
No, I don't.
Oh, it's on the brewery.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't cross them.
Okay. After the stream, I'll put it in the description. I'll edit it and drop the link in the description for anybody who wants any.
Yeah, if you want to follow. Well, if you want to follow me and get recipes,
and,
I did a video and I showed how to make maple bourbon glaze for meats when you're barbecuing. I'm actually working on a maple pecan glaze for chicken. And as soon as I get it nailed down, I'm going to post the recipe.
That sounds freaking good.
Yeah.
That sounds really, really good. That sounds delicious.
It's a beautiful thing.
This was really good.
Yeah, thank you. I hope it takes off. I think it will. The next version I'm doing. So this was an IPA version. I'm going to do a pale ale version.
Spilling stuff everywhere.
That'll be next.
All right. So our next beer is my fave. This is the same one from the festival, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So I walked into the beer festival. For those of you who saw the video I posted, the short. Walked in the beer festival Friday. I said, I'm going to start light. So I started with the blonde stout that was 8% alcohol.
So
I have my moments.
This is a blonde stout, which I know a lot of you are going to have questions about that. This is a blonde stout that's served on nitrogen. So this is one of the first beers we actually did nitrogen on.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Nitrogenizing is a little bit different than just regular CO2. It's a mixture.
So we are pairing this. You said stout.
Yep.
I said, let's do Teeling Imperial Stout cask finish. This has some really nice, I don't know if you want to rinse your glass.
Yeah, I should.
Whiskey glass. This has some really nice stout notes.
Coffee notes. You
has
said.
more coffee. Yeah, it's not as much as chocolate on this one. This is they take the Teeling, the small batch rum cask. They take it to Galway Bay Brewing Company. They fill it with their 200 Fathoms Imperial Stout finished whiskey.
Beautiful.
They empty it. They give it back to Teeling, and Teeling fills it again with whiskey. Then we have this. Yeah.
I love barrel sharing. It is wonderful. Yeah. So this is a blonde stout, and obviously you can see it's got a nice, beautiful nitro pillow on top of it.
Yeah. The head on this thing is beautiful.
Nice and
velvety. I mean, this is
yeah.
a Guinness in Ireland all the way. I mean, it's just lovely.
So a blonde stout, there's a shit ton of oats to give the mouthfeel and body of a nice hearty stout. There's cold brew coffee. There's white Ghirardelli chocolate, a little hazelnut, and some Madagascar vanilla bean. to all give some nice flavors to the malt that's in it. And I use a caramel malt, Caramel 60, and I use pale base malt. And essentially, it's a stout without the dark roasted malts. So you got to add that roasted character to it to give it more of a malt presence. But if you were to close your eyes and take a sip of this and a sip of a standard American stout, it would be you wouldn't know the difference. They're both, the viscosity and the body and mouthfeel are exactly the same as a standard stout.
Lot of compliments saying it looks really, really, really good.
It is. It's very delicious.
Shit ton of oats. Is that a technical term?
It is. Yeah,
it's an industry.
It is an industry term that we use.
James says he hopes you guys go international one day. James is in the UK.
Oh, right on. Cheers. When we when I put stuff on my scale, it goes from this is a pinch to a handful to a shit ton.
Oh, slancha. Boy, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It's so like creamy.
It tastes like a mocha.
It does taste like a mocha.
Yeah, it's like a mocha. Yeah. And
I'm telling you, put that in a Starbucks cup and I would not know the difference. Yeah. That is so good.
What's funny is I get a lot of people that ask me if I use lactose, and I am actually lactose intolerant, so I don't use lactose in our brewery. But that's where the shit ton of oats comes in. And no, that's not the name of the beer, shit ton of oats. It's it's actually called the Bossy Blonde.
Yeah. Which I think my friend Karen likes that one. She's blonde, so yeah. No, well, Kevin, unless you have friends in Ohio that you could email and talk about it. My email is in the description for my channel. Bourbon School, can we get this in New York? And you do have your beer some places in New York.
Yeah, I do have my hometown in Harrisville. You can get some of my beer, and we're actually it's secret, still hasn't come out yet, but we're doing a Oktoberfest in my hometown in October, and you'll have my beer there. We're also doing a community fest in August, and some of my beer will be there as well. But typically I don't go much further out of my hometown because it's a 600-mile drive for me, and my little Toyota Tacoma can't handle enough kegs to deliver all over New York. As much as I'd love to, maybe someday.
Yeah. Yes, sir. you and me talk. Pinch, handful, and shit ton. Yep, those are technical terms.
Yep.
This is really good. And I'm picking up more of the coffee. It's almost like the beer is giving the whiskey a little bit more caramel notes than I typically get. I typically only get coffee and vanilla on this.
Yeah.
So
I actually get a slight nuttiness too out of that. And I don't know if that's from the barrel or
maybe more caramel.
Yeah.
But normally all I get is coffee and vanilla.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one, and that is why I picked this one, is this specific stout finish Irish. It does give you more coffee notes than others that I've had. Kathy, yeah, we can go to the brewery.
Oh yeah.
Kathy will be in Ohio. So Kathy messaged me. Maybe we'll have dinner in the brewery.
Yeah, and if anybody's coming this way, they're more than welcome to reach out to Stacy or myself, and Stacy can post my contact info. If you guys are coming through town, I'm more than happy to show you around the place. I'll show you around the production facility or the tap room. So
there you go. You guys can see Marvin in person.
You could, yep. Get your picture with Marvin.
Yeah, this is phenomenal.
Yeah. I'm actually going to send this beer out to the beer competition in Colorado, the Great American Beer Festival. So if there's anybody out that way, we're not going to have a booth, but the beer is going to be out there for competition purposes.
I would love to send this. There's a channel that does 21090, looking at you guys, that does beer.
Yeah.
I would love to send this to them. They're in Maryland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Just need some dry ice packs and
yeah, because we we filter some beers, but we don't filter all beers. Something like this that has residual sugars in it.
This would be tricky.
It's tough to ship because we can't ship it. If someone was to buy it and do it themselves, once it leaves our door, we don't know. But we can't legally ship it. But if we were, we would have to really pack it on ice because you would get re-fermentation and with the sugars and the yeast that are left in there. That's why some of your beers they get IPAs. To go back to IPAs, there's this thing called hop creep. Hops actually, they're a plant and they have sugar in them, and they have, if you put copious amounts of hops in a beer, like your hazies and stuff like that, you end up with hop creep, because if they don't filter out the yeast, that yeast will start gobbling on the sugars that are in the hops, and then next thing you know, you have cans exploding on your shelves. So
wow,
yeah,
that's crazy.
So those are all things that we have to be concerned with when we're packaging and setting it on shelves and stuff like that.
Well, and this one you said it was under nitrogen as well, so this one would not be good one to ship at all.
Yeah, this one's tough. We just started getting into nitrogenizing our beer, so we don't package this one. This is on draft.
Well,
only.
yeah, this is one you would want to go into the tap room, and actually enjoy it. In the restaurant, they have great food.
Yeah,
my husband and I eat there all the time. Re-fermentation to the point of 15% ABV, maybe not so bad.
Yeah, then you're getting into malt beverages.
Yeah. So I did want to talk about one of the other things that you're involved with. And that came about right about the time of the pandemic, which is Project Altogether.
Yep.
Which is just a crazy, wonderful organization that you've created.
So I had some great help with it. Mr. Andy Furr with the Heart of Grove City helped me out with establishing Project Altogether. Project Altogether is a nonprofit organization that we started. And long story short, we got 50 minutes. All right.
No, take as long as you want. Take as long as you want.
So Project Altogether started back when the pandemic hit, and just prior to that, I like to do collaborations, and I like to invite people in to brew with me. So we invited in. We had the visitor center of Grove City come in and ask us to do a beer forum to help promote their brand. Well, we took it a step further and invited all the local businesses in to help make a beer under that brand. And Grove City's visitor center, their logo is Altogether Adventure. So we did a beer called Altogether Ale, and we had all the local businesses come in. We brewed the beer. We had a release day. We were going to have this big party. The pandemic hit, shut everything down. So I'm sitting with a full tank of this beer and no release party. Nobody coming in the tap room because we're closed down. So I started talking with my partners, and I was like, what the hell are we going to do with all this beer? And, we had this big thing planned and whatever. So what ended up happening is, again, Rich at Buckeye Lake Brewing Company, super great guy. He actually donated an entire pallet of bottles to me. I took those bottles, we bottled all the beer, and we started selling it. And all the money that we got, the proceeds from that beer, is we put it into a fund. And the funds from that we use to help other small businesses, the very businesses that helped us brew it. We wrote them checks to help pay the rent, help pay light bills, help pay for supplies, help pay for stuff when they were down and out. And that's where Project Altogether was born. Yeah, that's my Facebook page.
Thank you, Sugar Kitty.
Yeah. So we started that a while ago, and it was a huge hit. We helped out several businesses. We raised I think $10,000, and businesses would reach out to us. We'd look at their application. We'd cut them a check for however much we felt. We wanted to spread the love around, so we wrote them a check for about 90% of what they were asking for. And now Project Altogether has grown to my hometown as well. So when I go up and do Community Fest and this Oktoberfest, it's going to be also be a fundraiser for Project Altogether, and I will write checks for. We do a prom lock-in, so our school does a prom lock-in to help keep the kids safe on prom night. We do a hockey event, the Harrisville Hockey League, the youth baseball, the youth bowling. We've donated to the lake. We have a local lake. It's called Lake Bonaparte. They were trying to combat a weed that was growing in the lake, and they needed help with that. So we sent a check to them. Just all kinds of local community projects and programs is where all that money goes. I don't pull a check from it. 100% of the money raised goes to either Grove City or Harrisville. I get local businesses to donate money to help pay for t-shirts. The t-shirt sale money all goes into the fund, and all that money goes right back into the community. 100% of it. I'm the one that handles it. I'm the one that controls it. I have a ledger and log of everything that I've collected and everything that's gone out. And it's 100% community driven. I'm just the middleman. So we do what we can to help our community and help the youth especially. So
it's been so amazing. It's at a time when a lot of businesses were struggling and to stay afloat and to keep the doors open. And you guys made it possible for quite a few of them. You guys all came together.
They're the ones that helped brew the beer, so it was only the only right thing to do.
Keeps their employees in jobs.
We kept the lights on for a few folks doing that.
It was really awesome. I remember when you released the beer. It was really good beer. They were in really cool little bottles, and we bought a bunch of it. And
those were we first time we did 12-ounce bottles, and the bottles were incredible. So it was funny because
they reminded me of kind of like Red Stripe bottles.
They were the like old stubbies, the short stubbies. And what was fun about that was we actually kept our employees at the brewery busy too, because we had to hand write 800 beer labels, and we had to hand fill 800 bottles with counter pressure filler and a hand capper. So all of it was done by hand.
So it kept, I remember our little town, a lot of businesses, when everybody was struggling during the pandemic, they didn't really lose that much, and greatly because of that organization. It was just, it's amazing the work that you did.
Thanks. It's the community is what keeps us busy, and the community is what supports us. So if you support your community, they're going to support you. And that's important. It's my hometown, 600 miles away, or right here where I live. It's you have to support the people that support you. So you got to give back. They're giving to you every single day. Every time they come in the door and they spend $1, they're supporting you. If you don't give back, you're not doing it right.
So what is next for Grove City Brewing Company and Project Altogether? What do you want people to know about? What's upcoming?
What's really cool is obviously we're expanding. The expansion actually came from a really cool group, Axiom. Axiom Ventures bought all the property around our brewery, our tap room, and that's why we're sitting in this location today is our production facility. We had to give up some of our space where our tap room is, so we are growing. So our current tap room had both our brewing production, our restaurant, and our wine production in it. And when they bought all the property around us, we lost some storage space. So that's why we moved over to this location, so we would have production space and storage space. What they're doing around us is they're going to build this food hall complex. So there's going to be some additional food options. There's going to be additional shopping. It's going to be like a downtown shopping mall. And there's going to be a music stage with office space and all kinds of cool things. And so we moved over here. That opened up some space in our tap room. We had an architect give us some conceptual drawings on expanding our operation there, so our kitchen can get bigger, and now we can serve more people. So that allows us to add more seating and free up some space there. So it's still going to be a great community hub, and it's going to get even better with once they get this property built around us.
He's been talking about beer a lot. Tell us about the wine.
So I'm not the wine guy.
No.
But I can tell you about our wine. So
they do have a bourbon barrel aged wine.
We do.
That
We do have a bourbon
like
barrel aged wine. It's called shit.
It's got a year. I don't.
No, it's our address, 3946.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah. So
I'm like it's a number. It's
we
a
actually
year or
get
something.
these are Middle West. We actually get a local distillery's barrels for that, Middle West Spirits.
Oh, it is Middle
not Middle West. I'm sorry. Drawing a blank.
Watershed.
There you go.
Watershed.
So our winery is we do a lot of different varieties. I think we have 20 wines available. We do ciders. We do. My wife loves the cranberry wine.
My husband likes a cranberry one.
Yeah, that's it's a little tart but sweet. So it's.
I like
right
the
up her
bourbon
alley.
barrel aged red wine. Myself,
Yeah, that one's really good. Yeah,
it's the most expensive one too.
We do a mead
like that.
We do a mead. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys and
Yeah.
You do a bourbon barrel mead. Is that just
Yeah.
during holidays?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have 20 wines available. Everything from dry red to sweet red, dry white to sweet white, fruit wines. I'm not real big into the wine part of it because I don't have the patience. I can make a beer and have it ready in a month, where wine takes for goddamn ever. But we do some really great wines. We have Joe's our lead winemaker. Joe does a fantastic job with our ciders. We have a cider that's a blueberry lemonade. We have berry parfait. We have Dave's Gold, which is Gold Rush apples. We have
the sugar kidney. There's a lot of the sweeter berry wines.
Yep, we have a raspberry.
Ohio's naturally known for sweeter wines. Catawba's, Niagara's, Concords. So
yeah, so Ohio grapes tend to lean on the sweet side.
No, that's my intention.
But we buy from all over the place. We buy from California, Chile, Niagara, the northern part of New York, all kinds of places we source our grapes and wine.
Ever another technical term.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Saucy. Thank you. Yeah. So, how many beers? So, anybody who wants to pop into the tap room, how many beers are on tap of Grove Cities?
So we actually have 40 taps. Currently, we only have 30 of them filled. We support our friends and neighbors, so we also have guest beer. We have probably 16 of our beers on, and then some ciders that we make. We do a sparkling wine, and we have a pear cider that's on, and then the rest is all guest beer. Typically, what we try to do is carry. If it's a style of beer that we don't make, then we try to carry our friends or neighbors, other local breweries.
There's always a lot of variety.
Yeah, oh yeah.
When you go, and that's why I didn't know that there was a lemon blueberry cider, because I never get that far down the list.
Yeah.
I usually start with the beers and never you. I think last time I was in there, you had like 3 stouts, and I didn't make it past that.
Yeah, the stouts.
I'm a stout porter, malty.
Raspberry porter.
That was so.
That's
good.
Coming back. Yeah, that one was real popular.
Hey, cheers, Jeffrey Wack. It is good to see you.
That one was real popular.
Yeah, I liked that one a whole lot. That one and the another one that was really, really good. I can't even remember now. There were so many.
The pistachio one.
Yeah, the pistachio beer.
So
the pistachio beer.
I know the Irish folks are going to hate the hell out of me.
The only green beer that I will drink.
Yeah, she supports it a little bit, but I get chastised for it, and I'm all right with that. So I make a green beer during St. Patrick's Day, the month of March, but I do make it with all natural products, and it is 100% pistachios. So pistachios will add green to a beer. So I take my blonde ale and I throw some pistachios in it, and it makes it green.
It's like a lime green, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it's about the color of her shirt.
Yeah, it is.
Or
it's
like an emerald.
A little
green,
lighter, yeah.
Yeah,
It's so good. It's so nutty.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was so good.
Yeah, it's delicious. People love it. We get people from states away that come and get that stuff.
Yeah, and I know it sells out pretty quick.
Yeah,
it's so good. And then you also make an Irish cream.
Yep, handmade Irish cream. Grandparents' recipe. Real simple. It's a real simple recipe, but it's we sell the hell out of that too.
Because I tried to get some this year and I didn't get any.
Yeah,
because they're like, oh, they already drank that out.
St. Patrick's Day, we go through about 5 gallons of my handmade Irish cream. Yeah.
And the problem is the people in my Irish club tend to go there and drink by the gallon and make an appearance.
Yeah,
it's so.
They are some of my biggest supporters.
It's so good. It's so good. Well, thank you very much for the time. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
If you're in the Columbus area, make sure you guys check out Grove City Brewing Company. Great beer. You have so much going on. Pistachio is much better than the horrid artificial green food color.
I don't do anything artificial. Yep.
Yeah, that's why I said no green beer, and he reminded me.
Yeah.
Hold up.
What
I'll
do too is if there's some of these questions that are beer related that you guys have passed along, I'll get back on sometime tomorrow when I'm in here brewing and try to answer any questions that you guys might ask.
Yeah, if you guys have questions, even after the stream, throw them in comments.
Yep.
And Trevor will get back to you.
Yep.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for joining. Yeah. So upcoming next week, I am off. It is my niece's birthday. She's turning 16 years old. Can't freaking believe that. So she's having her birthday party. So I'm going to be off next week. In 2 weeks, I'm going to have Barry Chandler from the Shebeen is going to be on. If you guys have any questions or curious about Irish tourism, if you're going over to Ireland and are curious about whiskey tourism, want to go on tours of the distillery, get backstage access, Barry has a company now that is arranging whiskey tourism. So it's really, really cool, all the stuff that he's doing, all the insider stuff that you'll get to do. Then on the 30th, mark your calendars, July 30th. I think it's the 30th. I hope. Let me know if that's not a Sunday. Pretty sure it's the 30th. On the 30th, Jeffrey Weck versus Adam, Mr. Whiskey Shits from Livewire Whiskey. I've got the flights ready. They're going out in the mail tomorrow. Irish Whiskey Battle Part 2. So make sure you tune in for that. That is going to be a good time. I can't wait to see these guys try this stuff. I think it's going to be a close one. I really think it's going to be a close one.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys check out Livewire Whiskey tonight. They're going live at 9:00 Eastern time. Kilco is on right now. Go check out his stream, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. Sláinte.